today I'll be showing you how to create a liquid effect in Cinema 4D. It's pretty easy to do and you can do a lot of creative things with it. Let's go to File and create a new project over here, and now we are going to add a well, we don't need to add a floor, but first I'm going to explain how we're going to create our liquid. So we're going to create our liquid with the mesh deformer, what am I saying here, with the meta ball over here. So if you take two spheres over here, just for an example, and then you take the meta ball over here, you drop these two spheres in the meta ball. Well, first you'll see these blocky bad results over here. So if you go to meta ball and you change the subdivisions to a smaller amount over here, so like, let's say 2, it's gonna divide it a lot more and get it better quality. As you can see over here, it's pretty good now. So as you can see, this is what meta ball does. It is creating kind of a deformation over here, kind of a mesh. It's a little bit organic, so you can do a lot of cool things with it. And I'm kind of lagging because the other project is still open, so I'm gonna close these projects first. Going to File, Close. Okay, I'm not gonna save this. Okay, so there we go. And let's start on how to create this. So we're going to delete these files over here, and now what we want to do is create a new sphere. And that sphere, you want to change the radius to, let's say, 5 or whatever, maybe 7. Not too small, but not too big either. So once you've done that, you can go to Simulation, Dynamics, no, Particles, Emitter. So Simulate, Particles, Emitter, and that's going to create an emitter. If you press play, as you can see, it's emitting just some points over here. So we are going to rotate it 90 degrees, and that's by pressing R on the keyboard, and T is for the scale, and then we have E for the movement, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so press R on the keyboard to rotate it, and then hold shift while dragging it, and then just change it to 90 degrees. And then we're going to press E on the keyboard to move it backwards over here, and as we play it now, it's moving that way. So now what we want to do is make sure that the emitter is emitting all kinds of these spheres that we just created. So we're going to drop this sphere, just drag and drop it into the emitter, and then click on the emitter, and then just click on Show Objects, and that's what we should do. And as you can see now, when you play it, it's emitting these spheres right over here. We want to increase the birth rate and the editor to, let's say, 40 and 40 for renderer, maybe 16, a little bit more, and that's should be good as well. So as you can see when it's playing, maybe we want to create just scale down the emitter by pressing T on the keyboard and then just dragging over here, making it a little bit less to work with. Okay, so once you've done that, we can drop and drag drag and drop the meta ball, the emitter into the meta ball. So we're gonna go over here and click on the meta ball, click on the emitter, and then just drag and drop it into the meta ball over here. And as you can see, it's kind of yeah, pretty bad over here. So we want to change the subdivision again to, let's say, 2 and 2. Okay, over there. Now we have a perfect quality over here. As you can see, we are already getting some liquid kind of effect, but it's not falling down, and most liquids are. So we are going to add a gravity over here. So go to Simulate, Particles, and then just add gravity, and then make sure the box of gravity is big enough by holding pressing T on the keyboard and then just dragging to make a box over here. So what that's gonna do, if we go back to the timeline and press play, it's just going to emit the particles and then just drop them down. So as you can see over here, but as you can see, we don't have enough particles to create a nice liquid kind of effect. So we're going to increase in the emitter. We're going to increase the birth rate to, let's say, 150. Okay, and then again play it, and now you can see that it's like actual liquid. So looking pretty cool. There we go. Now if you want to make sure, if you want to put this into a cube or so, to make something cool, by clicking on a cube and creating a new cube, and then just make it edible by clicking over here. And then we're going to select the sides over here, and then just click on the top, just click on live selection, click on the top, press the delete key on your keyboard, and then go back to the move tool over here. Or we can go back over here and then press Control A on the keyboard, right click, extrude to just extrude it a bit over there. Okay, so now we have like an actual box, and oh, I didn't do that well. Extrude over here. Just a bit, okay. So a little extrusion over here. So now we want to make sure that the liquid is falling into the cube, because now, as you can see, the liquid is just falling through the cube, like there is no cube. So we want to fix this by right clicking on the cube, going to simulation, and click on rigid body. Now what we want to do is click on the rigid body, and it shouldn't be falling, so we want to delete this and right click simulation, a collider body. I'm sorry, no rigid body. The rigid body, we're gonna save it to click on the sphere, right click simulation, rigid body, and now that's what we want. So click it on there, and the only thing we gotta do is go to dynamics and trigger at collision. So that's what we should do. First, I'm just gonna create a new material really quick. Just make the box like glassy style. So click for transparency, and then just change the fraction to, let's say, 1.7. Then you have a little bit refraction, and close this and drop this onto the box right over here. So just drag and drop it over there. And now if it's emitting, you can see then it's a little bit easier to work with as well. And it's still falling. No, now it's not falling into the cube, it's falling on top of the cube, like there's still a top of the cube, and that's because we should change, click on the cube, click on the body tag over here. So once you've clicked on that, we're going to collision, I guess. Yeah, we are going to collision, go to shape and change the shape to static mesh, and that's gonna fix this, and it's actually gonna look to the model you've made. So now if you press play on the keyboard, there we go, it's falling into the cube, and at the bottom it should be stopped. Okay, there we go. It's kind of buggy sometimes, so sometimes it might not work like you want it. Just mess around and just keep messing, and you'll find a solution. Also, to the metal ball, click on the metal ball, and you want to change the hull value to, let's say, 70%. Let's see what that gives. Maybe even 60. Okay, 60% should be working fine. And now when you press play, you have like a much more blobby effect, I guess, and that's holding all those particles together. You can also emit more particles if you don't want to do things like these. I'm just going to show you the basic things to create a liquid, and you should yeah, help yourself with doing the rest. So if you make the sphere a little bit smaller, you might get a little bit better result, but it's gonna lag your computer, of course. The more particles and the smaller they are, the more lag you will have. So, and also a lot of render time. So if you don't want that, then you should do something else. So I'm gonna change the hull value to 40. Okay, there we go. Maybe I'm gonna change it back to 60, and then just increase the emitter to, let's say, 200, and this should fix it a bit. Okay, there we go. This is what we want. Okay, another thing we want to do is change the bounce on the cube over here, because it's actually bouncing a lot, and that's creating all those spheres around it. So click on the rigid body tag for this sphere, and then just change the bounce to, let's say, 3%, and the friction to 1%, and then go back to the cube. Do the same for the collider body over here. So 3 and 1, 3. Okay, there we go. And now when you press play, it should be fixed, I guess. Okay, it's a little bit better now. Maybe we should even increase it a little bit more, because you can still see some empty spaces over here. So it's gonna lag your computer, of course, but yeah, you'll have to do it with it. if you're more interested in creating liquids in 3D, you should be looking for RealFlow. That's an external thing, and it's a lot less laggy and a lot better, and a lot more options that you have. So if you really want to create something really special like Notion or something, you should go definitely go with the RealFlow instead of Cinema 4D itself. So now we have our liquid over here. Maybe make the emitter even smaller because I don't like it being that big. Okay. And there we go. Now we have something like a water-like animation. As you can see, the particles are just messing around over here. So yeah, you should change the whole value again to something a lot less. Yeah, let's do 50%. Okay, I know what this is doing. I've made a little mistake, and that's why it's kind of messed up. If you go to dynamics on collision, we should do it velocity peak. Okay, that's maybe better, I guess. Okay, we fixed it. Okay, I'm sorry, just a little mistake I've made. And now, because as it's on the collision, it's also going to fall down because it's also gravity on our composition itself. So if you click on here and do it immediately, it's not going to listen to this gravity, but also to the gravity of the complete composition, and that's gonna mess up your work. So and that's what we were doing wrong. Well, I was, and you were copying me. So just change that, and I hope you don't mind. So this is what we should get now. A nice liquid effect over here. No, it's falling through. That's not what you wanted. Okay, on collision, we're gonna use on collision, and we should find another solution to do this. So we don't want to use the gravity of our composition this. So I'm going to press Ctrl D on the keyboard to reveal the project settings, and I'm just going to change the gravity to 0. So go to dynamics, gravity 0. Okay, so this should fix it, I guess. I'm still making mistakes as well, so okay, there we go. Now it's not falling down anymore. There we go. Okay, so now you can decrease it maybe 35. And there we go, we have our water and some small particles, but if you do it with water, it's also going to give you some particles. You can always add some motion blur and things like that. So just let it play for a while. And as you can see, it's falling through over here, but that's just an animation bug from Cinema 4D itself, I guess. You just have to work with this. Okay, there we go. Just drinking some water over here. Okay, so now what you want to do is just create a new material, and then just create a nice material for your liquid effect over there. So maybe add a reflection, make it 6% both, color black. We're gonna create some experimental shit. So close this down and drop this onto your sphere over here, or on the metaball over here. And now when you render this out, you should get a black stroke over here. So I'm not gonna use this box. I don't like this box. I'm gonna delete the box. But if you still want to have the same effect over here, but without a box or something, you can always use the simulation particles. Go to deflector over here, and then just press the E on the keyboard to move it, or click on deflector. Go to coordinates. Just going to lower this over here. Okay. Rotate it 90 degrees and make it a lot bigger. There we go. And now we should get the same kind of effect without a box. So there we go. Now we want to add some simple lights over here. So first of all, go to your render settings, go to options, and deselect the default light. Really hate that it's always checked on. Okay, and then we're going to create a new light. Zoom out a bit, and then just click on the light and change this at the general tab over here. Change the type instead of omni to an area light, and change the shadow to soft. And then just move it right over here, rotate it just a bit, and then just rotate it down like this. Create a new light again, just do area and soft shadow again, also rotate it and move it over here, and maybe want to move it towards the camera and then just rotate it just like this. There we go. And now change the color for this light to a nice light orange color, not too much, don't exaggerate over here. So click OK, and the other light we want to change it to a blue to get some contrast over here. So there we go. And if we render this out, there we have our liquid kind of effect. You can do a lot of great stuff with this. You can maybe add a physical sky to also get some reflections and some realistic kind of lightning over here. So you can also check on the global illumination over here. Go to effect, global illumination. It's gonna take your render times to change the record density and sampling over here to low instead of medium, and it's not like you're gonna see anything different. You can also change it to medium again once you start rendering. So yeah, this is how to create a nice liquid effect in Cinema 4D. You can also add the glass effect to our metaball instead of the black color. Now you should get some water kind of effect. As you can see over here, it's rendering out. Okay, it's taking a bit of time because of the global illumination, and I'm gonna check this off just for the sake of this tutorial. You can keep it on if you have time. So okay, yeah, you can get the idea of this. So what you can also do is find some nice HDRI images and use them as your sky to get some nice reflections and stuff like that. So this is my tutorial on how to create liquids in Cinema 4D.